Sure.
Good morning, Toby. So, tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm a senior here at Loyola. I'm a psychology major, and as of this year, I'm also a music industry minor. So I'm actually going to end up graduating a year later because I want to finish my minor before I get up out of here. So like as of recently, I've started um, being a music producer. So that's one of my passions now. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. So, you work for Uber Eats and DoorDash, right?
Art for Uber, Uber Eats, and DoorDash. I don't work for Uber anymore, and I'm still technically um, I'm still technically an employee for DoorDash. I just haven't done it in a while, but yeah.
Okay. Um, so just tell me like why you started working for Uber. So wait, pardon my question. Did you work for Uber Eats, Uber, and DoorDash at the same time, or like was it like a different?
I started with DoorDash. I did Uber Eats for a little while just because, like, like it's different for each area you live in. So I wasn't really making much money off of Uber Eats. So I was mainly doing DoorDash. Then I decided to just hop on Uber, like actual Uber, and I was making ridiculous money. So I stayed doing that for a while. And then I quit doing that. Started doing DoorDash again um, over the summer, and
So, do you live in New Orleans, or
I mean, technically, yeah. I have an apartment over here. I guess I live both here and Montgomery, Alabama.
okay? So, did you grow up in New Orleans, or
No, I grew up in Montgomery, Alabama.
okay, and then moved here for school?
Uh huh.
So, you started with Uber Eats, right?
DoorDash.
DoorDash. So you started with DoorDash. So what was that process like of like applying and starting for it?
Oh, it took like an hour. It was very simple. Just go put in just give them your driver's license info, um, give them your insurance, registration, all that stuff. They do a quick background check. It takes like 20 seconds, and you're good to go. It's very simple, straightforward.
So when you started DoorDash, did you start in New Orleans or did you start in Montgomery?
I started in Montgomery.
Okay. So do you find it easier? So what motivated you to like go from DoorDash to like Uber and Uber Eats?
I wanted more money.
Okay. So what was that experience like in Montgomery? Did you feel like it was very successful in Montgomery?
It was successful enough in Montgomery. I mean, people don't really use those kind of services like that, but I was making enough money, I guess, if that makes sense. Like I was able to make a pretty decent amount of money for myself.
Do you feel like when you do it in New Orleans that you make more money?
Um, with DoorDash, kind of the same. Uber, I made I made a lot of money doing Uber over here. Especially because I started at the beginning of the year. I was doing it during Mardi Gras. I was doing it during during all the parades and all that kind of stuff. So I was making between 1,500 and 2K a week.
So when did you exactly start with like the whole DoorDash and Uber Eats? Like, give me time.
I started December last year,
Okay.
like the end of December.
Um, so going back to like pay and all of that, do you feel like it satisfied like your financial needs?
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like it was something that went up and down as far as financial
I
needs?
mean, up and down. I mean, for Uber a little bit, but even on like a bad day, I was still making like a lot of money. Like a bad day would be like maybe like between $100 and $2. I mean, between 100 and 200 a day.
And then what was a good day like?
Oh, like 400, 500, maybe 600.
And so did you do that like every single day, or did you do
Yeah,
like
I did that every day. If I wasn't in class, I was in the car.
Do you feel like that worked very well with like your schedule of being a college
Oh
student?
yeah.
Um, so just run me through like a typical day of like once you like open the app and you start taking orders and stuff like that until when you finish. Like, what does that process look like?
Let's see. So when I was doing it, let's see. I'm trying to think back to where my how my schedule was during that time. It's actually pretty chill. What I would do, I would start typically around maybe like 11 in the morning. I would just open the app. I usually within maybe 2 minutes of opening it, I would get orders. So I would immediately just and once it started, it just was continuous. Like I would usually get a request while I was in the middle of one. So it was very demanding, but it was like once you get to work, it doesn't stop until you stop. And so I would just there was sometimes I took people to Slidell. Sometimes I took people to Kenner. I did a lot of airport trips. Those ones they usually paid a lot of money. And then like I said, during Mardi Gras, um, it was uh, the prices skyrocketed because people came in from all over trying to get orders and stuff like that. So I was um, during during the school week, like I said, if I wasn't in class, I would literally just be in the car because my schedule was spread out enough to where I had long breaks between classes. So I would just leave class, hop in the car, do some work for maybe like an hour or two, go back to class, just go back in the car, just drive around.
So then, so then I kind of got a gist of like what that type of work is like from day to day. What was like the best part of doing that work?
I mean, honestly, I like just driving around listening to music, so just getting paid to do it, really.
So what was that experience like, especially as a college student, having like different type of people in your car, having those conversations? Like, what was that experience like?
Um, I, I've it was very interesting. I'll say, you meet a lot of the different people over here. Um, it was usually never a dull moment when I was working, um, especially during Mardi Gras. It was crazy during that. But it was a lot of fun just talking to people. I would um, I've I've had immigrants, I've had people from I've had other college students, I've had just people of all backgrounds for real. So
So with that being said, fun question. I usually ask this to like pilot Uber drivers.
sure,
What was
sure.
your like craziest night as far as doing Uber DoorDash? Like, crazy experience you did?
Craziest experience. Just going on YouTube, right?
Well, it won't be open to the public, so it's on a private channel.
Okay, okay. Crazy experience I have. I know exactly which one it is. Should I tell this story? Um,
Go ahead and tell it. Ain't nobody else gonna see it but me and my class.
I um, so I was doing orders, um, and what happened was I I went to pick up, or I went to the spot to pick up my customer, and there was this lady there. Um, she made eye contact with me as soon as I got there. She was the only person that was visible like in the area, and as soon as she saw me, she picked up her bag, walked towards the car. Um, Now, granted, I should have confirmed who it was. So this is 1,000% my fault. I should have confirmed who it was. Only reason I didn't is because she was the only one there, and as soon as she saw me, she came towards me. So I just assumed that it was her, because why else would she come to the car? Um, so she hops in the car. We're driving about 2 minutes. I get a call, and I answer the phone. And the person's like, "Why does it say I'm in the car with you when I'm not?" And I was like, uh, I don't know why it says that. I was like, hold on, let me figure this out. I'm gonna call you right back. Hang up the phone. Lady in the car with me goes, "So where are we going?" And I was like, "What the hell you mean where are we going?" I thought I was taking you to the nail salon. And she goes, "Nah, I thought you was going on a date." I slammed on the brakes. This is the first time I've ever cursed out a grown ass adult. I was like, "Yo, get the fuck out of my car." I was so angry. I was like, "Yo, like, what are you doing in my car?" She got out the car. I called the woman back, and I was like, "Yo, listen, I'm so sorry. There was a mix-up. Somebody hopped in my car. I'm so sorry about that. I'm still close by where you are, so I can come get you. I'll make sure you get a refund for that, just for She thought it was hilarious.
No.
Yeah, no, I picked her up. I explained the situation to her, and here's what she said. Like as soon as I explained the whole situation, she goes, "Oh yeah, you picked up a prostitute. There's a whole bunch in this area."
Was this in New Orleans? Or
Yeah.
It was, okay.
Crazy part is it's in the area I live in.
Oh, what part of New Orleans is that?
I live on Tulane Avenue.
Oh.
That's where that happened, on Tulane Avenue.
That's crazy.
I live like 2 minutes away from that area.
That's crazy. What's crazy about this, like no initial like contact.
Oh God, yeah, nah. Oh God, nah, cause why else would you come to my car?
That's definitely a crazy story. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
So with experiences like that, and of course being a college student, being in a city like New Orleans, what were some things that you had to do to practice safety and being like cautious and stuff?
I don't know. I guess being a guy is a little bit different. I've talked to a lot of, because I have college students a lot, or I would have a lot of college students as passengers, and like some of them would be girls, and I'd be like, "Yo, this is like, shit, I make a lot of money doing this shit. Like, you should hop on this too." She'd be like, and they would usually be like, "Oh yeah, but I'm a girl and I don't want to be around strangers, stuff like that." So I guess for me, I didn't really have to worry that much about safety. But one thing, I didn't let people sit next to me. That was that's just a personal thing. I don't like having strangers sit next to me. So I would always have people sit in the back seat. And the good thing about my car is I have 7 seats in my car. So I have a second row and a third row. So if I had a big group of people, I'll usually just be like, "Yo, just put up the third row. I'll put up the third row so y'all can sit up there, because I don't want people to sit next to me." That type of thing. That's usually the. I mean, that's really the only thing. And also at night, I would like make sure to like double down on making sure like whoever is hopping in my car is who they say they are. During the day, I don't know. I guess I wasn't as worried about it, but especially at night, like I made sure, like yo, like I had to make sure, like this is not just some random person. But apart from that, I didn't really worry that much about safety, and thankfully, I didn't have any dangerous situations happen to me. So
Besides the price.
besides, yeah, yeah, besides that.
Um, so that's weird because like normally when I can like live in Ubers, I go straight to the back seat.
Yeah.
So did you have it? Was it common for you to have a lot of people who wanted to sit in the
Oh
front
yeah,
seat?
all the time.
What was that conversation like?
I would just be like, nah. I would literally just point to the back seat, be like, nah, just shake my head, just point to the back seat. I'd have a couple people be like, "Oh, why can't I sit up front?" The good thing about it is that during most of the time that I was doing Uber, it was like there was still a whole lot of COVID guidelines. So even the COVID guidelines stated you're not supposed to sit in the front seat. So when people would ask me, "Oh, why can't I sit up there?" I'd just be like, "That's Uber's policy," which it was at the time. And even when they got rid of that policy, I still told people I don't want you sitting up front because.
So did you have any like tough clients or difficult clients?
Oh yeah, I've had it. Yeah.
Okay, tell me a story about some tough clients that you had.
I mean, I had somebody try to tell me to go a different route, to go somewhere. I had people try to, be like, I would, um, I would have people, like, uh, or I would have people criticize me for the music I was listening to. I would have people, just stuff like that. Um, I try to always be respectful, so I would never really argue with the passenger, but I did have I've definitely had some some difficult people come in the car with me, try to ask me to do all kind of extra stuff, so.
So on the flip side of that, did you have like nice customers? Did you have customers that were like talkative that
Oh
probably
yeah,
offered you like other
oh yeah,
opportunities?
yeah.
What
Yeah.
was the experience like?
Oh, I mean, it was those are my favorite type of customers, true. Like people that are that are talkative, love to have conversations and stuff like that. Now, me personally, once it gets to nighttime, I'm not really trying to talk that much. I'm tired. I'm just trying to work and just go on to the next person. So at night, I tend to not want to be as conversational. But like during the daytime, when I would have talkative customers, those were always enjoyable experiences. I had somebody tip me $100 bill one time. I had people do all kinds of stuff like that. So
Um, so what made you stop doing Uber and like Uber Eats?
I just did not have time.
Do you feel like it's something that you would go back to if you had the time?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I know whenever I go into a job, I usually have like some type of expectation of like what I expect to get out of the job as far as like experiences, financial needs, all of those things. Do you feel like working for Uber Eats, and DoorDash fulfill like your expectations as an employee?
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
What were some of your like expectations and motivations for working for those companies?
I mean, honestly, I didn't really have that many expectations. Really, I was just in it to just make easy, quick money, and that's exactly what that was. So it was. I mean, I got everything I expected out of it. It's those type of jobs are very straightforward. Like it's not, I knew I would have tough customers. I knew I would have some crazy experiences every now and then. Those happen, of course. So it was it's pretty straightforward. Like there's nothing too out of the ordinary.
So, which app do you feel like was easier to use as far as being an employee and knowing
Uber.
Uber? What made Uber the easiest app to use?
Um, I mean, there wasn't, it's I don't know, like, cause I don't know how to describe it. It was just, um, like, you didn't really have to like search to find stuff. Like everything you needed was right there in front of you. Like there wasn't really like any like hidden stuff. Any they would always update you on on different features or like if they added like a new feature, they would automatically they would let you know what it was, how to use it, all that type of stuff. So that's why I definitely enjoyed doing Uber.
So, what was that experience like with DoorDash, like using that?
DoorDash, it's also pretty easy. Uh, it becomes a problem when the app crashes because sometimes it does do that, and then you don't have a way to contact your customer or like you don't have a, and then like you're stuck trying to get in touch with with DoorDash support. Then you're talking to you're on the phone with other people. You're just trying to so sometimes that was really annoying, but as far as DoorDash, it was also pretty straightforward. Um, yeah, it would you would go online. Um, Now over here, since a lot of people do DoorDash, you can't always just go online when you want to. You have to schedule a time. Um, Now where I live, you don't really have to do that as much, but over here, since everybody does DoorDash, you have to do that. A lot of times, it will not just let you hop online whenever, because they want to give everybody a chance to make a decent amount of money. So you go on there and you schedule a time. Say like you want to work from like 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. It'll let you know if that time's available, and if it is, then you can set that schedule, and then it'll it'll give you a notification about a half hour before your shift starts, saying, "Hey, just we're here to remind you that your shift starts in a half hour." That type of stuff. So that's the difference between DoorDash and
Interesting. Do you feel like that contributed to why you didn't make as much money when you were on DoorDash?
Uber. That, and also it just um, DoorDash itself just doesn't pay you as much.
So, what's the breakdown of pay with like the difference in the breakdown of pay with Uber and DoorDash?
Oh, um, a good day for DoorDash for me would be like $100. A good day for Uber would be like 500. That's
So, um, because I know there's like delivery fees or like
the delivery fees really ain't that much.
okay.
It really ain't. Like 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 they'll 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 send you all the way across town and then pay you $3.
Does Uber Eats do that too, or does
Uber Eats does pay better. It's just I once I started doing Uber itself, I really didn't feel the need to do delivery services. So, but Uber Eats does pay better than DoorDash.
and how does Uber Eats pay better? Because I know from like my experience, like the Uber Eats.
It just pays. It just gives you more money.
Okay.
It just gives you more money.
Being a because I know like on my experience of being a customer of Uber Eats and using it from time to time, like the delivery fee will be like 99 cents. So, um, okay, does so with Uber, and like whenever somebody catches a ride with Uber and you take it, do you get like all of that money from the ride, or do you get like a percentage of it? Like how does that work?
Okay, so Uber tells you right off the jump how much you are going to make off that ride. I don't see what they pay, and they don't see what I make. So those are two different things. What they pay and what I get are two completely different things.
So, on average, if you had to drive somebody like let's say like 10 miles away, and it was like a 15-20 minute ride, like how much would you make for the type of ride?
Maybe like $15, $20. Airport instant $20 at least. Sometimes more. Um, but usually those types of trips between 15 $20.
Um, so, like your money and all of that. Since you're not, so are you still like heavily relying on Uber and DoorDash as your main source of income?
Not really. I made a lot of money off of it, so I'm chilling as far as money right now. So I don't like if I need to go back to it, I can. But as of now, like it's way more than enough.
So, do you have another job, or you just like?
No, as of right now, no. I'm way too busy.
That's cool. Like it set you up. So do you feel like it sets you up in a good spot financially to where you could be able?
Yeah, yeah. But honestly, I don't think there's a better college job.
What would you recommend to like other college students who are looking to go into this type of work?
Just do it.
What do you have for like tips and tricks for like the best ways to make money? Like especially being in New Orleans, like the best times, best areas to go to.
Oh, well, um, I don't. I guess it also. I mean, it depends on the day. Weekends you make a lot of money. Weekends are definitely the most lucrative as far as money. Then during the week, uh, I would say the nighttime. Um, the nighttime during the week is when you make money. At least I made a lot of money at night. You know, sometimes I wouldn't get home till 3 in the morning. Um, and then especially during the early months of the year, um, you'll be extremely busy. Um, like in a 12-hour span, one night during Mardi Gras, I made 600.
So, with being a college student, like how did you find it best like balance out having classes, having stuff
My schedule was really nice, so I think my earliest class was like 12 in the morning, or I mean, 12 noon. So it was I didn't really have to worry that much about getting home late because I knew I'd have time to sleep.
do you feel like your work, like you were able to balance it with like homework and stuff like that too?
Yeah,
Do you feel like time management was really important for that aspect of it?
yeah, and you make so much money that like during a short amount of time that even if you don't work for like a while, you know, when you go back, you'll instantly go back to making like a whole bunch of so the money's always going to be there. So there's not much need to stress about, oh, I wasn't able to work today, I wasn't able to work this day. You'll make money. It's it'll always be there.
So, um, earlier in the beginning, we kind of talked a little bit about like being a psych major and this music industry minor, and being this producer and stuff like that. So, just tell me a little bit more about that. Like, why a psych minor, why music industry, psych major, and music industry minor?
The truth, honestly, I only went into psych because I was scared to go into music. I tried to convince myself for the longest time, but I actually wanted to go into psychology. I really don't. Music is what I want to do, so I figured that, I might as well just jump into it now. Um, so I mean, it's not to say that I hate psychology. I definitely learned a lot from it, and I definitely got some good experiences out of being a psych major. But my true passion is music, and so I'm just glad that I finally just decided just to jump into it now. And so this year and next year is that's gonna be my main focus for real.
So, what made you passionate about music to begin?
It's just always been a part of my life since I was a child. Um, so it's just one of the few things in my life that just have always made sense to me. So
When did you discover that you were passionate about music? When did you find your love for music?
oh, at an early age, for real. Probably I found a love for making music for myself when I was in middle school, I'll say. Um, and and then once I got to high school, I started experimenting with different things. I started experimenting with like making beats and stuff like that. But I didn't really start taking any of it like actually like seriously until about a year ago. So, like when I say I'm a producer, I've really like I say I've only been doing it for about 8 to 9 months for real. but I've always had music in my life in one form or another. So,
So what's been some of your like biggest musical influences?
oh, um, I get influences from all over the place for real. Uh, I listen to jazz music. I listen to hip hop, trap, R&B. I listen to those are really the main genres I listen to. I know it's kind of a it's very night and day, but those are um, you know those are the main type of stuff that I pull from. So,
So what are your three favorite, like your top three favorite artists?
favorite artist right now, I'd say Baby King. I would say Pierre Bourne, and I would probably say Playboy Cardi.
I know the first, the third, but who's the second?
Pierre Bourne's a producer. Mainly, he's a rapper too, but he's way better known as a producer. He's produced for he's produced for everybody. Playboy Cardi, Trippie Redd, Lil Uzi, um, Young Thug, Gunna, all those people. Um, so yeah. I mean, I just like his style of beats a whole lot. So I get a lot of influence from him as far as making beats.
So when you were doing like Uber and Uber Eats and stuff, what music would you typically play?
Those type of music. Yeah.
So like yeah, I know you mentioned earlier about like people who would tell you to like change the music, would complain about it. What was that experience like as far as like it being your car, you pretty much having the roles?
Yeah, that was annoying. I will say, because it's like, because a lot of times, people would, in fact, sometimes people would come in the car and bring their AirPods, listen to their own music. I'd listen to my music, people be having their AirPods and doing their own thing. So it's like, if you don't really like, just bring headphones, like, I don't know why you asking me to do all that stuff, because, like I said, it's my car, I gotta make this enjoyable for myself as well. So,
Which is so I used to work. I worked for Chick Fil A for like 2 years,
for
and
sure.
like I think it's like customer service.
Yeah.
So I feel like with
And
this,
yeah, and as far as that, I'll never turn down a request. So like, if you ask me to do something, I'll do it. Just because I do want to make sure that you have an enjoyable experience also. But sometimes it's like a little bit annoying when people ask me to do stuff like that because it's like, you know,
it's all about how you ask.
oh God, yeah.
So, do you feel like with those companies that you had a lot of like that you had to that people in like retail and like customer based industries are always like the customer is always right. Do you feel like you had that experience?
1,000% yes. That is, it's definitely like that with Uber. Uber 1,000% take the customers over the driver. That's yeah, that's definitely how that works. They will always take the customer side over the driver.
Did you have any experiences where you had to like defend yourself to be like, this is not what happened, like the customer probably lied on you, or like,
Oh yeah, I've had that happen before. Like and they won't listen to you. Because I mean, it's such a big corporation. They're not gonna listen to one person. I mean, like if you really wanted to like get your point across, like you'd have to, go like you'd have to build a case. Like they're not gonna listen to just because it's way too big of a corporation to care about just one little incident. Whatever happens, they'll always take the customer side and just move on.
so can you tell me like something about that experience that you had, like going to like the story?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I've had people complain about one thing or another. It's like say I took too long, or say someone say they didn't like the route I took, or they didn't um, You know, like say, trying to think of specifics. I remember, um, like I had my mask under my nose one time. Someone complained about that. Um, things like that. It was always like the little things, but Uber will always let you know when someone does that. So, and they'll be like, yeah, like just don't do it again, type stuff. So,
Do you feel like they that like Uber and DoorDash really? Do you feel like they gave you respect as it being your car and you having to like you being your own person?
DoorDash more than Uber.
Why is that? Why do you
Um, I don't know. Like I've definitely just from honestly just from talking to both DoorDash support and Uber support, I feel like DoorDash definitely cares a little bit more um, about the drivers, just and as far as what they'll try to, as far as what they're willing to do to help you as a driver. I felt it was I definitely felt it was a little bit more personal, even though they didn't pay me as well. I definitely felt more respected by DoorDash than by Uber. But on the plus side, it's a lot of money in Uber. But I definitely felt better. I yeah, like I felt more heard from DoorDash just based off of what they're willing to do for you. Like you try to talk to customer support. They'll do whatever they need to do to sort of help you out of whatever situation you're in. And that's not to say that Uber won't do that either. They will, but it's like I don't know. I guess just based off of my own experience. So I have to say that DoorDash is a little bit nicer too.
especially you put the pay less?
It's weird, but yeah,
um, so do you feel like those experiences helped you grow in your community?
definitely taught me how to do with people.
Are you a big people person?
I can be. Um, I can be when I need to be. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Do you have like a lot of patience? Because I know like
I do. I have a lot. Yeah. It's probably not a good thing, but I do. I do have more patience than a lot of people. So you know, I'm willing to put up with a lot more than most people.
I know you told when you said you started working for DoorDash for Eats and Uber, you started like December of 2021, right? So like still having some COVID restrictions. How do you feel like you had to, or how did you go about protecting yourself and staying clean and like doing stuff like that?
Oh, I always kept masks in the car. I kept wipes in the car. I kept hand sanitizer in the car. That was just about it. And like I said, if I had a customer for Uber, I would just make him go to the back. I'd have people try to come up front. I'd always be like, and there was only very very few situations in which I really didn't have a choice but to let them sit up front when there was like 8 people try to jump like 6 7 people jump in the car, which was weird. And that that's a whole nother conversation because um, because like with Uber, like you have Uber X, Uber XL, all that kind of stuff. It's weird because my car has 7 seats, but it's not classified as an Uber XL vehicle, so it's weird. Like technically, I can let people. I technically can let more than 4 people in the car, but my car is not classified as a Uber XL vehicle. So when I have people like groups of 7 8 people, I'm always like, why did you order Uber X? You could have just ordered Uber XL type of thing. And in that situations, usually I kind of have to let somebody sit up front. I you know I and if it's a big group of people, I don't want to be just like, no, I'm not gonna take y'all. I'll take y'all, but sometimes it is annoying because it's like y'all could have called an Uber X vehicle, Uber XL vehicle. You know, my car just happens to have 7 seats only because I requested it for my car. Not, you know, it's still classified as a Uber X vehicle, which means you're really not supposed to have more than 4 passengers.
So what? So that's interesting. Like being classified as Uber X versus XL. What's the difference in those classifications?
Okay, so as of right now, as of right now, I'm driving my dad's car, which is a full sized um Mercedes SUV. So it's a full size family SUV. That car would be considered an Uber XL vehicle. If I were to drive that car for Uber, that would be an XL vehicle because it's a family car. It comes standard with 7 seats. You know, it's that's it's yeah, it's a family car. I drive a Toyota 4Runner, which is a pretty big car. It's only slightly smaller than the car I'm driving right now. But it comes standard 5 seats. You can get 7 seats. You can ask them to put 7 seats. I asked them to put 7 seats in my car. So, but the Forerunner is classified as a mid-sized vehicle. It's just on the larger side of the mid-sized vehicle range. So it just like a Tahoe would be a Uber XL vehicle, but like say like a Honda CRV would be like a Uber X, that type of thing.
So could you make more money if you did Uber XL versus Uber X, or is it about the same?
Potentially, yes, you could, because more cut that opens you up to more people. Like I remember, my family came to visit me um, earlier in the year. That's when I was still doing it, and they came in the car I'm driving right now, and my car was in the shop getting fixed. So for a couple weeks, I didn't have a car. So they came to visit me, and for a few days, and they let me use that car to work for a couple of days just so I can make some more money. And I was able to make a lot of money because I got Uber X orders and Uber XL orders because it's a full size vehicle.
Okay. So um, so just to wrap this interview up and have a question for you. So we talked a lot about like your experiences with Uber, your experiences doing DoorDash, your experiences being college students, some of your passions with music. Um, as like so, what are some goals and passions that you have as you grow older, and do you see yourself continuing to do Uber and like DoorDash as like a side job?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, like I said, my goal is just to make it as a producer. So, that's as far as my goals for the future. That's my main. That's my number one priority. I do see myself probably going back at some point when I have a little bit more time on my hands. But as of right now, it's just right now I'm just focusing on my music.
So what are your goals, music wise?
Oh, I just want to be well known in the industry for real. Like like I want people to like be able to put out a song and be like, oh yeah, nah, he made that beat for sure, that type of thing.
Well, that's all the questions that I have for you. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
For sure, appreciate you, appreciate you.